This is a 1,442 Rosh Yomi, and our limud should be a schus for Am Yisrael, whose spaces are enemies in Gaza and throughout the world. Machshmam Zichram. Today we're doing Yardei Simon Kuf Tzadik Sif Ches through Tes Vav, and we're talking about if a woman had argosha, she had sensation, and later she checked for blood and she found a marator, white emission, green emission. How long after the Hagasha can she still assume that this was the cause of the Hagasha? So Arukh HaShulchan says, Ches, when he was 19 years, the Tlin Amei waits for 24 hours. The Zebah the Ibshman, the Chulin, ain't for a Klal Lomar, Koste Beisa, Lomar Koste Beisa, Rechameidu. But you can't say that by Chulin, there's no Svara to say that it was inside for 24 hours. And we always say that Svara by, like we said last time we learned, by Truman Kachim, because Truman Kachim, double shave Sharklav. It's not possible, so there's not rational to be Machmer Truman Kachim. Halavadi, the double say Efsha, Biacholios Kane. It certainly can be. The Reish need the Hachim, but we say being him needed, the Zel, Pshita, the Gam, Ein Echrech Lomar Kane, that also is not necessary to say this, because they Beser Hamido. In other words, it's not 100% that was brought within the passion for us. So in terms of chulin, why should we be concerned with something which is just suspicion? Since she doesn't remember any hargasha from the day before, why should we be concerned? Just the we're chodesh 24 hours previously as a fence. Because this is only what she didn't know, was not aware of the previous sensation. But here she knew the sensation. And now she found Maritar. So it's obviously, here we can say, by Chulin, that it was there for 24 hours. It's an absolute linkage. So if you can say, you can link the Chumrah, you can also link the Kula. How can we say that by Truman Kachim we are chodesh 24 hours retroactively? Even though she didn't have any sensation. And for Chulin we will not assume such a possibility, even though we know she sensed it yesterday. Or within the past 24 hours, but the Kvar that's Rambam also explain the Rambam. So the process of Chashin Zez Man Rab Shas. When you find blood in the outer chamber, we assume that it came out of the cervix from previously significant amount of time. She just didn't realize it. The blood tarried in the outside, in the outer chamber. Here too would say the same thing, and he says and he was daiti. That's what seems to be true to him. Test Yeshomim. Some say the dafka bar goshes psichas piyam makori yesh lahachmir. Only in opening of the cervix is she machmir. Agoshes ivas when she senses that. Agoshes ivas davalach, but when she senses something flowing, moist, tolim b'motzi meraglayim, we assume that it's something which is more prevalent, i.e., urination. Also, women who have habitually see some sort of white moisture. Let's say if that comes out with a sensation of opening the cervix, you can assume that this is what she sensed, this white emission. But even she didn't check. So I'm telling you about Matzah, we always assume that the more prevalent phenomenon is the one which is operative. It's from the Sidrei Tara. And therefore, certainly, it stands to reason that something which is the flow of something moist, we assume that was the moisture, which is not blood, when that's their derech. Also, if she has a sensation of her limbs shaking, also we don't have to be concerned. Even though those hold that's a sensation, we can assume that if she has found something else, like the white or green emission, that's why it happened. So the Chacham Asadim. It really quotes the Chacham Matzah. Also, according to those who hold that the flow of something moist is considered to be a sensation. Nevertheless, we can assume it's urine. According to that which explained the Zulas Pesichas that other than the opening of the cervix, there's no such thing as a hargasha. The Engel Chush, that we should not be concerned if we find that there is a marator. We just gotta check. I don't think it's my type of the Arukh HaShulchan. Let's see. The woman was standing in the women's section in shul. She was sneezing. On account of the strength of sneezing, she felt some urine coming out. So she couldn't check herself. And that night when she was lying down, she found on her garment a stain smaller than the size of grease. She asked, maybe since she had a sensation that something flowed out of her, with that you should be concerned, even though it's less than a grease, which is the minimum size for a kesa. But no, let's say this is the blood which stained her garment. They passed for it, so obviously not the Arukh HaShulchan. She told her that she's Torah. We don't assume the Nisr. We assume that she had checked immediately. She found drops of urine. That's normal derech of people. The kohar gashas hatoza anything time when you feel something spraying out, you assume it's urine. The rakar gashas makar yesh lachush. Only if you feel actually the cervix opening, it's a problem. Below b'shar gas is not in other agashos, and this evidently is also Chacham Matzah. In the name of Sheb Yaakov. I forgot about the Vestos Sekilu Bar Bernachim. Even though Vestos they were lenient with 4 women, Besula, a woman a virgin, Cana, an elderly woman, Muberes, a woman who's a pregnant, Nika, woman who's nursing, but time seeing Kupei test like we saw in previous Simon. But not by stains. They only make it by a Besula. But the other 3 loy kilo walking the tumas. May ace lays my friend. They only make it that you don't say retroactive tumor 24 hours. Any women who say blood not at the time of the cycle, metamos or chumas kachim may say we call them. They retroactively metame chuma kachim 24 hours. The same is true when they find a stain. These 3 women are not metame retroactively, which of course is not an issue. But they do have the halach of stains. A young girl who hasn't yet begun seeing dam nida, she hasn't yet come to the age of 12 and 1 day. Even though she has simonim of hair, body hair, or she reached the 12 years old and she was checked with loibis, when he doesn't have simonim, her stain is nothing. Because we don't assume that's any answer in nida yet. Even if her sheets are dirty with blood, but that's about she's putting it for husband. But feel Russell Kavar Shnei Pamim installed twice. Did not make a decree on her stains. I'm sure so Shalosh Pamim, but if she sees 3 times, then we assume she's the onset of nida has occurred. She has to be concerned with the stain like any other woman. Your base. You should know. Some say that saying when we're machmir by dam sulim with a younger girl, but some like we'll see later on. Shows you machmir her stains. It's a marshal. Some say the rak becomes should be like you. Some people say they only make her with stains on her garments. And now with stains on her body. That's the bach. Some say the loikilabal rak was suffix imigubasi almadasi. Only make it if we have a suffix where it came from her body or came from elsewhere. But the amasi we assume it came from elsewhere. If definitely came from her body, tomei she's tomei. That's a chavas das. Floni Yerkin. Arukh HaShulchan rejects all this. He says hedron chazad explicit logos or xamel. So they make a zera on her stains. Period. It seems that no matter what, they make a zera on her. I feel even my stains of her body. I feel even she doesn't have anything with which to link this this blood. Because much like as long as she doesn't have a sensation, she's in the clear. Those times so it's not like the actual besulim, the virginity. Doesn't time there it's a different issue. Since everybody has relations, and they can't distinguish between a child and an adult. And as the Yitzhara can overcome him and make him be lenient in ways when it should not, as a newlywed. Therefore, we have to give everyone the same blanket law that dam sulim is like dam nida. As opposed to stains, where she has to be to a rabbi anyway. So there's no concept of mora heter to the same extent as dam sulim. Your gimel. Yes, some say avogad yes, or shosh nashim. Some, even though the other three women were not lenient with stains, in terms of a sensation. When she feels that her cervix open up, and she didn't find anything to tmeya, we're entitled to assume that the sensation was something else. Because they are assumed not to have blood. So but every time makes says Osho makes sense. Even with all women, the dafka he'll got not just these but three. The dafka only she definitely felt that her cervix opened up. She has a doubt if her cervix opened up. Such in a dream it seemed to her that it opened up. She woke up, and she didn't find anything. She's tahar. That's not Yehuda. The die lahachmir bebadi v'lo b'sofik. It's not the macher by a definite case, now the suffix case. But she needs to have a check. The bracket says here, Ayin Shem Tshuva, see, look in the Tshuva side. Bargosha Gemura Shabbat Kam Yad V'nicho Eid Ad HaBoker. If she had a real hargosh, a real sensation, and she checked immediately, and she left the aid inside until morning, like a mochtachel. V'boker lo maso klum. And once she didn't find anything. Tiara, the Noida says she's tar. Ayin Sham. But the Arukh HaShulchan disagrees. It says, I think that this may be also because of the sensation. But no, that which the son of the wrote. The Ragosh being a tate, that by Ragosh need two things. Both a sensation at the opening of the cervix and sensation of something moist flowing out. Ayin Sham bevade ain't okay. You know, one of the others is enough of sensation, which goes softly, like I said, viduk. We already wrote the B'Ktanik Shos Pamim in a child who saw 3 times. Yeshuk some she has stains. Rambam Perek Tesham. Rambam says Kisim Torah Shetira Dam Shos Vestos. Her stain is torn until she sees blood 3 cycles. Akal Shana. Ben Kamanos with the Vestos Mamish. Biu Shavas was Malim Rehok. It doesn't mean cycles in terms of set cycles, right? That they have patterns, either for shorter or longer patterns. The idea is that patterns not relevant to this. It just means 3 separate times. The Gemara said the Shavas the Gemara says that if she flows, and even if she only drips, as long as she's dripping, it's only like one siding. Drip after drip. It seems to this if it's not drip after drip. Such as she saw a drop, you see come on, and she interrupted a little bit. And then she saw again. See come on, she interrupted a little bit. And she saw again. It sounds like Kesim's tummy. That's in fact the opinion of Turin Shulchan Aruch, who wrote, if she was flowing for several days, so she was but she was dripping, drip after drip, below having without interruption. So it's only one siding until she stops. And plus come out, but she stops it over, and then she sees again, 3 times even in one day. Then she's assumed to have blood, and her Kesim is assumed to be tummy. I'm going to show you. Rashi. That's like the opinion. Rashi, Rambam, Linear, Farish, the Rambam does not hold that way. 3 sightings on the same day make her already assumed to have begun nida. It says 3 separate festivals. At least 3 separate onos, day, night, day. Perhaps only even 3 days. That's opinion brought down in the Yesh Mishomer. V'yesh lachmir, because for Rishon, the first opinion that even 3 sightings in the same day. I feel as far as moving on this logic though, lo mahani have sukkah, raklim is a lefes, lo shafas. Not sure what it means. As far as it sounds like going first far, it seems they're going second far. He says, Havsaka only applies if she's dripping, not if she's flowing. Seems to be the Pashan. It's from the Bach and Shach. I don't know why it's such a chiddush. Tesvav, Tinokish Logia is mine, the child again, so has had answer. Nida, Barasa, Shaloshmani, so 3 times. Possibly Shir, Shaloshonis, then she stopped seeing for the Shir of 3 cycles, she was tied to which is 90 days. Koseska Musa, she goes back to the assumption that she's not susceptible to Nida. The case of Matar, and the stay in the store, actually talks to Shir, Shalosmani until she sees 3 times again. Can't Posko to a Shir, Siv Dalit. That's the way to Shul Paskin. Baba said, "Come over Vestos." We see it's like Vestos in the previous simon. V'yanil see by test. Ayin Sham explained it previously. But Rambam Mitzvah Din Zeh is the law is not being the Rambam. Acharash does the Bayis Lama Din Ksamim B'Din Vestos. Rash learned the halacha of Vestos Ksamim of states from Vestos from cycles. Loving. That's from the Beis Yosef. Shouldn't say I understand. The Echad Motzei is actually going to run for the other. But I read Vestos comes the Kena Dina Kitinoikis. By Vestos, we say an old lady, past menopause, is like a young girl before the onset of Nida. But that's not doesn't apply by stains. So we see stains and cycles are not similar. Stains are more severe. Can't be known more. From where can we learn? But this is only true according to them as well. The Zej Kasu actually talks of Shosh Pamim, that which is said until she sees 3 times, and it come on Vestos. Shosh Pamim Afloga Shavas, it doesn't mean in equal intervals. So its end should not be more severe than its beginning. The Ramachas Yosin is barley the brain, that feels Shosh Pamim Yom Echon. Because where it's at the beginning, when you said beginning, even if she sees 3 times the same day, she also Kismotame, that when she sees now her Kesmotame, Koshkin Ato. And certainly now. That it can be all one day. They only mean 3 re'os. The record says in Demot Miyani, but it says Bash Koska so I feel Chasidos Bonus Katanas Chuli Ansham, the Mayan Ono Luksami and Sarki and Gadol. Really, they seem to link it to Ono, which we said just now conclusively and decisively has nothing to do with this issue over here.